Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a, pretty universal struggle. If you're a parent, an educator, or honestly anyone who spends time with kids, you know this one, trying to get them to understand the concept of time. I mean, have you ever said, okay, we're leaving in 5 minutes, and then 4.5 minutes later you find them knee-deep in some massive, highly detailed art project? Yeah, it's incredibly common. And here's the thing. It's not them being defiant. It's just that, to a child, time is literally an invisible, completely abstract concept. So today, we're going to break down the research on how to fix this by totally changing the way children interact with time. So think about this. How long is 15 minutes to a child? To you or me, 15 minutes is a strict, undeniable deadline, right? It's the exact time it takes to brew coffee, answer a couple of emails, and grab your keys. But to a young kid, man, 15 minutes can feel like an absolute eternity. Or, paradoxically, it can feel like just 3 seconds. Why the huge disconnect? It's because time is invisible. They can't hold it, they can't see it, and they definitely can't measure it in their heads the way we do as adults.
There's actually a fundamental difference in how our brains operate depending on our age. As adults, we're used to feeling time. We've had decades of experience building up this internal clock, so we can usually guess when, say, 10 minutes have gone by. Children, on the other hand, rely almost entirely on seeing time. They need concrete, visible boundaries to make sense of the world around them. And this clash, our abstract internal clock versus their need for visual reality, that is the core friction in childhood productivity. We are repeatedly asking them to manage a resource they literally cannot perceive. So how exactly do we bridge this frustrating gap? How do we take a totally invisible concept like passing minutes and make it practical and digestible for a kid? Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Making Time Visible, the Power of Visual Cues. Our source materials highlight a beautifully simple, honestly kind of magical solution. Think of it this way. You can't feel 15 minutes, but you can see a red slice getting smaller. This is the absolute genius of the visual pie timer. Instead of repeatedly shouting 5 minutes left from across the house, which, let's be real, means absolutely nothing to them, you give them a physical, visual anchor. They don't have to guess what 5 minutes feels like anymore. They can literally sit there and watch the minutes physically disappear. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how it works. Picture a visual timer starting with a big green slice, meaning there's plenty of time to work or play. But as the clock ticks down, that green area shrinks and a smaller red slice slowly takes over. Suddenly, time management isn't just this vague, stressful feeling of being rushed, it completely transforms into a concrete, visual reality that a kid can process instantly without even needing to know how to read a clock. And this leads to a massive aha moment in the research, the functional warning. When that timer hits a specific spot, say the 5-minute mark, and the color abruptly shifts from green to red, it acts as this perfect built-in alarm system. It is a clear, nonverbal cue that signals to the child, hey, it's time to start wrapping things up. You don't have to nag, you don't have to raise your voice, the red just means wrap it up, gently teaching them how to pace themselves completely independently. Now for the really fun part, Section 2, the gamification of chores, turning theory into practice. Let's take this theory and use it to actually get those toys off the living room floor before dinner. The research gives us a highly actionable tool for exactly this kind of scenario. It's called the Beat the Buzzer Challenge. If you want to motivate kids to get chores or assignments done faster, just turn it into a game. Kids are completely hardwired for play and competition. So when you pair a visual timer with a fun, low-stakes challenge, you totally change the dynamic. It goes from being a boring chore into a competitive sport. Let's walk through exactly how you can build this productivity playbook for your daily life. It is incredibly simple, just 3 steps. Step 1, set your visual timer for 10 minutes. Step 2, assign the task, like cleaning up the toys. Step 3, if they beat the buzzer, they earn a star. Boom, that's it. By setting up these visual boundaries, you're giving them a literal finish line to sprint toward, which is way better than some open-ended chore that feels like it's going to drag on forever. So, the crucial point is coming up right here in Section 3, focus, pacing, and success, the bigger picture. Because, this goes way beyond just having a clean playroom for the afternoon. When we use these visual cues consistently, we're not just getting short-term compliance, we are building real, essential life skills.
First off, it fosters better focus because having that visual boundary actually removes the mental distraction of wondering when the task is going to end. Second, it develops a stronger sense of pacing. Kids are learning firsthand how to budget their physical and mental energy over a set time. And finally, it deeply motivates efficient task completion. They aren't just following orders anymore, they are learning the actual mechanics of how to work effectively.
There's this one quote straight from the source material that I absolutely love because it perfectly anchors the whole lesson. Using a timer helps us focus and work faster. It is just so profound in its simplicity, right? By handing children a visual tool to master time, instead of letting time be this mysterious, invisible boss dictating their day, we are empowering them to take control of their own focus and productivity. And that brings us to a final, pretty thought-provoking question for you to take away. We've just explored how making time visual can completely transform a child's understanding and productivity. But what other invisible boundaries could you make visual today? I mean, could this exact same concept apply to your own deep work sessions, maybe your budgeting, or your fitness goals? Our brains, no matter our age, absolutely love a clear visual boundary. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really challenge you to find one abstract, invisible obstacle in your life today and figure out how to draw a picture of it. Catch you next time.